we've been doing a little bit of research, and one of the things we found is the war diary of Leonard's unit, the 150th Field Ambulance.
God.
And you might want to look at the entry for the 24th of May, 1940.
Certain artillery units arrived at Chateau grounds at Houplin, where the unit had landed up. Enemy planes coming over about 0800 hours bombed the ground. Our unit sustained 2 dead and 13 wounded. They were bombed.
They were bombed by the Luftwaffe first thing in the morning.
So do you think it's possible that one of those men could have been Leonard? Do you remember Dad ever talking about his side of the family, or his dad in particular? What happened in the war and how he met his end?
I know more than he died.
Right.
I know that he... Well, I know.
Yeah.
I think I know he died in Dunkirk.
Mm.
And Dunkirk is such a kind of famous part of the war, isn't it? I'm wondering whether that is just another... tidied into a kind of big box, put Dunkirk on that sort of thing.
Mm.
But the hook that Dad always used to say, that he was shot making a round of tea.
Someone told me that they thought he died while stealing something.
Sugar for tea?
Sugar for tea, maybe.
Oh, that would be bad. I've got a photo of Leonard. Look.
Blimey.
What do you think? I mean, to be honest with you, putting it next to a photo of Dad here, I just felt like I was looking at Dad.
What, there?
Yeah.
Really?
Look at the insignia.
Go on.
Well, I can't tell you who I used to know my army insignia. That really rings a bell, that snake round a downward thing. No idea what regiment at all.
Anything really about my dad's dad is a bonus, because I know so little about it. I know that he was a man who died 30 years before I was born, who died during the war. I mean, if I could find out the details of how he died, that would be interesting, of course, yeah, and the sort of when and where and the how.
He's meeting military historian Professor David French.
This is some family history. My grandfather, Leonard, died, I believe, maybe at Dunkirk.
OK, right.
So the RAMC, what's that?
Royal Army Medical Corps.
Oh, right, that's what RAMC.
RAMC.
I wasn't sure what that stood for.
These are the guys who run the Army's hospitals.
So war starts in September.
Yep.
The British Expeditionary Force.
British Expeditionary Force goes over to France, dribbles over to France. The territorial divisions, of which Leonard is a member, start going over in January 1940. And Leonard's unit is the 150th Field Ambulance.
On the 10th of May 1940, the German army advanced into Belgium and Holland. The British and French armies responded by pushing northeast into Belgium, from where they expected the main thrust of the German army to come. But the Germans outwitted them, attacking simultaneously from the south. By coming behind the Allies, the Germans cut off the elite of the British and French armies from their command centres back in France. The result was chaos. The British Expeditionary Force was cornered by the Germans in a rapidly shrinking pocket of northern France. The Allied troops began to retreat to the Channel port of Dunkirk for evacuation.
So all the time that they're retreating, they are involved in skirmishes and battles all that time. They're not just being chased. I mean, they're engaging with the enemy all the
They're
time.
engaging with the enemy. Most of them are being bombed and strafed by the Luftwaffe. The infantry are fighting a series of rearguard actions which go on really right until the last day of the evacuation.
The constant bombing and shelling meant that Leonard Freeman's field ambulance unit was dealing with mounting casualties in increasingly chaotic conditions. medical supplies and vehicles were being destroyed, and lines of communication were broken. By the 24th of May, Leonard's unit was outside the city of Lille, still some 50 miles from Dunkirk.
So the evacuation starts at 26th, 27th?
Evacuation starts 26th, 27th. It's over and done with by the 4th of June.
Well, Leonard died on the 24th.
Yeah. We're doing a little bit of research, and one of the things we found is the war diary of Leonard's unit, the 150th Field Ambulance.
God.
And you might want to look at the entry for the 24th of May, 1940.
Certain artillery units arrived at Chateau grounds at Houplin, where the unit had landed up. Enemy planes coming over about 0800 hours bombed the ground. Our unit sustained 2 dead and 13 wounded. They were bombed.
They were bombed by the Luftwaffe first thing in the morning.
So do you think it's possible that one of those men could have been Leonard?
2 dead, 13 wounded. It's possible, can't say any stronger than that, it's possible that Leonard might have been one of those 2 men. We can't be absolutely certain, though, because he's not mentioned by name.
To find out if Leonard was one of the 2 men in the war diary who died, Martin is travelling to Hull, where Leonard's military unit was based.
I knew roughly what had happened at Dunkirk, but I didn't really know in the days leading up to it. I was very hazy on that and what did lead up to the big story that we all kind of have heard about. I'm just after anything I can find out. Anything I can find out is a bonus.
When Leonard Freeman signed up in 1939, the headquarters of the 150th Field Ambulance was at Wenlock Barracks. Martin has come here to meet Captain Peter Starling of the Royal Army Medical Corps.
Hello, Captain Starling.
Martin, how are you?
doing?
Welcome
Very nice
to
to meet
Wenlock
you.
Barracks.
Thank you very much indeed.
So this is now a squadron of a regular medical regiment.
The 150th Field Ambulance was a division of the Territorial Army. To support the Royal Army Medical Corps' teams of doctors, Leonard and his fellow volunteers would have received basic medical training.
This manual here is the 1935 REMC training manual.
Really, right.
It has basic stretcher drill in it. It has everything from anatomy, physiology. It's everything he would need as an REMC soldier. It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a big one. So he would have had one of these?
Yeah.
In the days leading up to the evacuation, Leonard's medical training was put to good use. While other Allied soldiers were racing to the beaches of Dunkirk, Leonard's unit was miles from the coast and under constant German attack.
He would have had a very important job. His job was to treat the wounded there, you know, under the direction of the medical officer. Would have told him what he wanted him to do, check their dressings, put the splints on.
Yeah.
So a very important job. There is an account of 150 that's been compiled by a long-time member of this unit, Captain Brian Hemmerman. And it's based on Lieutenant Colonel J. Morrison's account. Lieutenant Colonel Morrison was the commanding officer.
Colonel Morrison's account gives more details of what happened on the day Leonard died.
24th. Blimey. 24th of May, 0500 hours, certain ancillary units arrived at Chateau grounds at Houplin, where the unit had laid up in and around Seclin Wood. Once again, the screaming Stuka Dawn Patrol came, bombed and machine-gunned the wood. 4 of our lads killed, including Private L.W. Freeman. Wow. It's
But it tells you exactly, it confirms what happened to him on the 24th of May 1940.
That name really leaps out of that paragraph. Yeah.
There's one more thing I would like to show you before you leave here today. But just watch this step as we go up. What we're we're going to do is go over here and have a look at this memorial. So this is memorial to the 150 Field Ambulance 1939-1945 war.
And there he is.
There he is.
Oh, that's fantastic.